While working as a CFA, I had a woman approach me that had just received $1 million and was looking to invest. She said she was very passive and is conservative and didn't want to take much risk, but would like to reach a 12 to 15% growth return. After doing various research, I decided to invest in Xerox, Walmart, Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, Alibaba Group Holding, Bank of America, Apple, Chipotle, and Coca-Cola. As you can see, I had a portfolio pretty diverse, and I decided to have $100,000 in each one of the stocks. At the end of the day, the portfolio did very well. She had received the positive growth on all stocks except for one, which was Coca-Cola. The most well-performing stock was Xerox. Overall, my client had an increase of $175,936.65, which equaled out to be a 17.44 growth rate, clearly above the 12 to 15% she was hoping for. The first stock, Xerox, which actually did the best, was a company that most people didn't really believe in, and I thought would be a great way to increase profits and have a really good return. As you can see, the price of the stock wasn't really expensive, and it was almost like I could get it on sale. Knowing that Xerox had adopted a couple new strategies and were going to put them to efforts in 2019, I thought this was a great company to invest in. I decided to keep my client's stock into the investment for at least a month to see how it worked out, and it worked out very well. On April 16th, the stock had reached its peak of $35, which is $1.50 more than the targeted price by Xerox. The following day, the stock fell about 23 cents, so I decided it was best to sell it, not risking for a farther downfall. So once I sold that stock, my client had increased her profits by $50,020.12, which ended up being a 50% growth return. The next stock is Walmart. Walmart, as everyone knows, is a huge industry that runs mainly on groceries. The reason I chose this was because lately Toys R Us had foreclosed and Walmart had a huge supply of toys and an increase in 30% of consumers buying toys from Walmart. With this, I saw an increase in revenue and net profits. Although it wasn't as well as we had expected it to be, there was still a little growth in this, but only for 3.6 return. Clearly not what we were looking for, but it was still good that it was positive. Next was Netflix. Netflix I thought was an interesting company because more than 50% of Americans have now decided to go into streaming TV instead of buying cable. This, along with Netflix raising their dues $1 per month earlier this year, I thought there was a great chance to increase profits. Netflix has increased by 15.45 million users, which is a 29% increase, and now has 139 million subscribers worldwide. On April 23rd, I decided to sell the stock of Netflix at $381.89. At the point of selling Netflix, the investment had an increased profit of $8,608.25, with a growth rate of 8.5. Next is Facebook. I chose Facebook because their net revenue and net profit margin had been increasing, and although the stock had a bad turnout in the end of 2018, I believe that there was a great chance to get it to have it come up in 2019. Along with this, Facebook is trying to do more than just be a social media website where they are now trying to live stream sporting events and some TV shows. In the first quarter of 2019, Facebook had released that they had 2.38 billion monthly active users. With this number increasing year to year and month to month, I believe this is a great chance to have a good investment. At the end of the period, the growth rate for Facebook was 21.39%, which is clearly above what my client desired. Next was Amazon. I knew that the lawsuit between them and eBay was past them and that their down months were coming to an end shortly. So I believed in 2019 it was a great chance to get Amazon on sale for a cheaper price and have an extreme attempt for growth. The company leads enormous markets in allowing the customer to get a better deal. Another reason I decided to invest in Amazon was that their web services, which ended up leading to 10% of their entire growth, and this product was coming out and being more innovative throughout the company. And April 4th, I decided to sell Amazon, although they are having extreme success, because Jeff DeVos, the CEO of the company, and his wife had just finished their divorce, and I didn't want any bad press to affect this company and the stock price. I sold the stock at $1,818.86, which was a profit of over $8,000 and a growth rate of 8%. Next is Alibaba Holding Group, which is the Chinese version of Amazon. I gave my client this because I realized that most stocks in the portfolio, the price was extremely cheap with tremendous room for growth. Alibaba was experiencing a rough patch at the end of 2018 and early 2019, but it was only a matter of time before it got turned around. Alibaba is a specialty company with a Chinese version of Amazon. Knowing the long success of Amazon, I knew there was a great chance for this company. Alibaba doesn't have the highest net income, but that is due to the fact that this company investing a lot in themselves, which shows that they're trying to become better as a company as a whole. I decided to sell this on April 25th for $187.88, which ended up being a 21% growth rate for my client. Following was Bank of America. I decided to choose Bank of America simply because it was very cheap and they offered a dividend. A dividend allows my company to either reinvest in this company, invest in another company of her choice, or just keep the money for herself. Although this seemed like a great idea, it didn't really work out as well as we planned, and I ended up selling the stock on March 11th for $26.30 a share, which was only a 2.3% growth rate. Following that, next was I invested in Apple, which a lot of people were surprised by because they were having such a bad time in the end of 2018 and 2019, starting back in October of 2018. Their fourth quarter reports from last year were not good, but as the reports were coming out at the beginning of 2019, it showed that Apple had an increase in revenue and net profit margin. We saw a great opportunity for Apple services in China, and Apple had increased their net profit margin by 4.18% since the year before. I ended up sticking out with Apple, and I was very pleased as long as my client. Held the stock till the end of the semester, selling on April 26th at a price of $204.30, which was an increase in $31,857.26 for my client. Next was Chipotle. Chipotle I knew was an interesting choice because of all the E. coli breakouts they've had in the past, but I knew with their new and up-and-coming delivery service and testing out the drive-thru that it'd be a good idea to possibly take a gamble on this being more of a risky investment for my client. Along with this, their percentage of their net profit margin increased by 30.12% and their revenue by 13.92% over the past year. So along with this and the new services they were about to provide, I knew it would be a great investment, although it was risky. It ended up paying off for me and my client as I kept the stock until April 26th and it sold for $676.79. Chipotle was able to gain my client $31,459.69, which ended up being a growth rate of 31.4%. Lastly, Coca-Cola was another company I invested in, and I did it like Bank of America because it had a dividend offering. Along with this, Coca-Cola had released that they might be coming out with a coffee called Costa Coffee, which would not only increase their revenue but also their net profit margin. I thought with this coming out, it would be a great way to see some growth and also pretty safe investment, which ended up not being the case. Coca-Cola ended up being my client's worst stock in the portfolio, and I had to sell it on February 14th. Just the day after that spiked, it dropped $5 in less than a day. I didn't want to risk any more losses, so I cut the losses right there on February 14th, and it ended up being a negative growth rate of 2.83%. Overall, I think the 9 stocks that did well, some could have done better, some did exceptional, and other than Coca-Cola, I think my client would be very pleased with her portfolio. Thank you.